Here's what I'm after. All right, so we're in the beginning of May now. This is when I like to come and get my ramps. I like them when they've done got big and they start to get real big bulbs on them. They can get a really nice end on them. And you know, a lot of people disagree. I know my dad's one of them. He likes to get them when they're first starting to come up, and this green is real tender and young and small. He likes the green part better than the bulbs. But for me, I think the bulb is the tastier part of the ramp. So just to show you a little bit on how to dig them, how I dig them, I just use a tool like this. They make special tools for ramps that you can buy in this area. I'm just outside of Richwood, West Virginia, which is the self-proclaimed ramp capital of the world. They literally have signs in town that say that. They have a ramp festival and all that kind of good stuff. So this is certainly ramp territory. And you can buy shirts and you can buy special designed digging utensils and stuff for ramps, but this works out well for me. I like this just fine. So I like to come up and find you know, some ramps that I'm interested in, and just kind of grab them at their base. Rake out just a little bit here. That's why I like this end on this tool, where I can kind of rake out just a little bit. You want to come about 6 inches out from the stem of the ramp. I usually always go from the uphill side because I'm on the side of a ridge. And then you just want to dig in deep, real deep, just loosening that soil. If you go shallow, you'll cut the tips of the ramps off, so you don't want to cut the tips of the ramps off. So I hope that showed up. I don't know if I have my camera at a good angle. I'll do it again. But anyway, when you do it, that is a big bulb. That's what I'm here for. I mean, that's absolutely delicious. It's like a cross between a Vidalia onion and garlic. So it has a skin on it that you can peel down to kind of get the mud and the dirt and stuff off of it. And then when you get to this part will just break off. It'll just snap right off. Right? I trim up the bulb just a little bit, and that's a good ramp right there. It's going to be very good eating. So I kind of like it because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, you have an idea based on how big you know, how big the ramp is overall. You know that the bulb's going to be big, but you never really know until you get out of there and you get to see. It's like, wow, man, I got a really good one then. But these are all certainly average for this time of year. At the elevation that I'm at, enough of the, I call it white gold, enough of the white gold there, redneck white gold, to make it worth cleaning up and, you know, preparing. So again, you just 6 inches uphill of it, just dig in really deep in the soil. Yep, see, it kind of screwed up here. This one, it's big enough bulb. I'll still probably keep it. It's got a lot of white on there, so I'll keep it. But I cut the tip off of that one, and you got to really get in deep. And it can be hard to do because it's real rocky. There's a lot of shale rock and stems and stuff that'll stop you. You'll think you'll be deep enough, and you just won't be. You'll be ricocheting off a rock or something, not getting in there. But that's exactly what you're looking for right there. That one got cut off. Oh yeah, this one's intact. That's a bigger than average size. So I like that. Certainly worth the effort. So I'll try to find another good spot and show you one more time how to do it. All right, so I'm just 10 feet up the hill from where I was at. Make sure the lens is clean. And out here slinging dust and pollen and dirt, even mud, because where I'm at, there's 3 seeps that come down. This is the smallest of the 3. That's kind of in the middle of the bigger 2. And ramps go in really good around this water. They grow in really good around these seeps. But here's another group of ramps. It's got some potential. You know, I was talking about rocks, shale rocks. That's a perfect example of what you run into. They like to grow I don't know, like in and around stumps and root systems and rock like that, and it can make it real difficult to get down in there. But once you clear you off the spot, you know what you're working with. Come 6 inches uphill of it. Make sure I got my camera right this time. And then just dig deep and really get down in there, and then jerk straight back, trying to loosen that dirt underneath the ramp. And once you do that, get this great big clump of dirt, shake it off there, and then again you get to see what you got. So I can already tell I'm gonna be happy with this one. That's a really good sized bulb on that one. For someone like me that really likes the bulbs on these things, I mean, like I said, it's like a Vidalia onion and garlic mix. It's just absolutely delicious, and there's so many things you can do with it. I want to set up enough of them to freeze dry and ground up into powder as a seasoning, because you can put it on anything. Steaks on the grill, sprinkled on cheese pizza. There's so many things that you can do, you know, with a ramp to season your food with that. I mean, it's absolutely culinary gold, white gold. And like I said, a lot of people would argue that they like the green as much, if not more, than the white part. So the leaves are certainly good. Look like I scuffed that one a little bit, but it's still big enough to keep. But yeah, that's how you do it. You just uphill of it, pull back till you loosen, and then pull out. Break the roots off the ends of them, and you got a pulled ramp that's going to be easy to clean once you get it home. Ain't going to take a lot more to mess with it. Man, that is a pretty bulb. That is going to be so tasty. So just let me show you the spot that I'm at. I've been coming here for, like I said, over about 30 years. And I've been digging ramps around this rock right here all this time. And I can say that the number of ramps in this area, I mean, it gets dug by other people. It's never been overpressured, and I've never seen a decline in the volume of ramps that are here. It's always been it's just sustainable. There's a seep or drainage, top of a drainage, 'cause I'm just right at the top of a very high mountain. There's a seep over here, a small seep here, comes in next to the big rock, and another deep seep over there. And I always dig between the seeps, just right, you know, right through here, in and around the rock. And I get all I can handle from doing that. Man, that is a pretty ramp right there. That's what I come here for. When you find them that size, that's absolutely perfect. I mean, gorgeous. But this is the west face of a mountain. The sun comes up over here and travels over. But they just do really well here with all the water drainages. You know, I've got a really beautiful day here. You know, with the weather, it's probably mid-60s, and it's calm and not hardly a cloud in the sky. But what's really good, and I've been here this time of year where this up here is just covered in ice and snow. But what's really good is the ground is not too wet. It's not too soggy from like recent rains or snow melt off or anything like that. And it's not too dry either. It's just right to be able to grab a hold of that membrane and pull it. So I'm really lucky to be off work and available to come out on a day like today. This is a Sunday, but I haven't seen hide nor hair anybody up here. It's a very remote area, outside of the self-proclaimed ramp capital of the world, Richwood, West Virginia. My wife, her family had a family farm not far from Richwood, so I've been familiar with the area for a very long time. And my brother-in-law actually showed me this spot for digging ramps, and I've been coming here ever since. But anyway, dang, I've got multiple ramps laying around here. You know, that's how you dig ramps. You want to rake off the uphill side, because like I said, I'm on an embankment. Get about 6 inches away from the stems, dig in real deep, and just jerk back to loosen up that soil enough to pull the ramps free of the soil. Rake off that membrane, break off them tips, and you've got a semi-clean ramp ready to go home and wash them off, and then do whatever you're going to do with them to prep them to eat or to to keep until you get around to eating them. I dig enough to where I eat them throughout the year. I set up packs ready to go, where I can just pull them out of the freezer, thaw them out, mix them up with some fried potatoes and scrambled eggs, and you know, and bacon grease, and chop them up in there, you know, and just, man, it's absolutely delicious. One of my favorite meals I've ever had in my life, and I never get tired of it. One other thing I wanted to say about digging ramps is, you know, it's 65 degrees out here, and it's high elevation, and it's usually pretty cold, but you know, you're in and around rock crevices. You know, there's rocks there, and you know, rocks over there, and logs and stuff. You got to be real careful about rattlesnakes in this neck of the woods. You know, every time I come in along something like this, I'm always taking a second to look for rattlesnakes or look for any kind of snake. They might be, you know, lethargic in these temperatures, but they could still be out trying the sun a little bit, you know, when the sun's hitting the side of the ridge on warm days like today. So it's just something to think about. Let's see what we got here. They're dug in there good. That's a very mature root system. Oh yeah, look at the roots on those things. Oh yeah, I can tell these are going to be some beauties. Yep, every one of them's going to be good. All right. So I want to show y'all something. Here at this clump of ramps. This is the stem that'll come out of the root system here to reproduce the ramps. That's all it is. Literally, it'll just look like that. All this will be gone probably by the end of the month, beginning of June. It'll turn yellow and just wilt away. But this stem will remain in the woods, and it'll just be all these wooden stems over here. And then on the tip of the stem here, there's actually remnants of one that didn't fall off, but little seeds will grow on the tip here, just a little cluster of seeds. Not a whole lot of seeds, because there's only so many branches off here, 5, 6, 7, maybe even up to 9 little branches if it's a really good stem. But the seeds will come off, and the seeds over the period of, or the seeds will come out, and over the period of the summer, as the stem grows and grows and grows and grows, and it forks out and the seeds start coming out, around September is when it matures, and the seeds will be like a real pretty, it's like a bluish gray color, and then they'll fall off, scatter, and then repopulate. But that's why these things are in clumps, because they come out and then the stems actually fork out different ways. Like I said, probably 5 to 9 different little stems is what I've seen, and then they'll just fall off, and then that's why they populate in clumps like this. But thought I'd just share a little bit about that as far as how they reproduce. So it'll be September before their seeds actually mature and drop. Has the potential to be the biggest of the day. We'll see. All right. Let's see what these things are. Man, these things got big stems. See, you never know how they're going to bulb out. Sometimes they'll stay real thin at the end. And sometimes they'll get round. Still some big ramps. A couple of the biggest the other day. Yeah, nice. All right, I'm up here high on the mountain. I know well over 3,000 feet up. This is a place where I've been digging ramps for 3 decades. In all the years that I've come here, which I've come here every year, sometimes multiple times a year, you know, every spring, I've never missed a spring coming up here in 30 years. But in all the times I've been up here, I've never come across anyone else up here that I haven't brought with me, and I haven't brought very many people. Your ramp digging spots are kind of like your favorite fishing hole or your favorite hunting stand or something like that. You don't just tell just anybody where that's at. You kind of keep it to yourself. But I have brought a few people here over the years, but I've never seen anyone else here. I've seen evidence where people's been in here digging a little bit, but never come across another soul back here. So it's really nice, a good excuse to come out and get in the woods, get some alone time, decompress a little bit. A lot of work to dig in ramps, but I find it to be enjoyable because the payoff is great. I mean, they're absolutely delicious. You know, ramps is a wild leek. You know, like I said, it's like a cross between a sweet onion and garlic. They're becoming more and more popular on menus at some high-end restaurants and such. But generally speaking, a lot of people don't even know what a ramson is. And when you say ramp, you know, that's the common terminology for it. When you say a ramp, you know, for short, you know, it's the short for ramson. They don't even know what you're talking about. But and that might, this video, you know, maybe for viewers that I have that have never heard of it before, I kind of want to introduce you to it. It's absolutely a culinary delight. And there's so many different things that you can do with it. My favorite way to fix it is to chop it up in fried potatoes. Get your fried potatoes golden brown, and then separately, and I fry those potatoes in bacon grease. And then separately, I do up some scrambled eggs, and then I mix the scrambled eggs in with the fried potatoes and bacon grease and ramps. Just mix it all together, and that's my favorite way to eat it. A lot of people just like to do the ramps, just saute the ramps in bacon grease, and then fix it with brown beans and cornbread. That's probably one of the most popular ways people eat it. I enjoy it that way as well. I'm just outside of Richwood, West Virginia, which is the ramson capital of the world. And, we've been here before. They actually, when they put on a festival, ramp festival, I think they call it Feast of the Ramson. We've been to it, and they'll have different places, you know, different Ruetan Club and schools and different places that'll have dinners that you can come out and eat. So that's something you might want to look up if you're just interested in, you know, putting that on your calendar one year and coming out and getting a chance to try them and see if you like them and just checking out the area. Absolutely beautiful area. There's a bear preserve over here. The one thing about it, when I come up here, I always bring my 380 with me because I have jumped so many bear here over the years, you know, just coming out of the den and such. But they're always more afraid of me than I am them. They run off whenever I come, but you just never know. So I like to come over here, and about the only other wildlife I ever see up here is snakes. You gotta watch for snakes when you're up here, especially when it's really warming up. Some years I come up here and it's blowing snow and ice and super cold. Of course, you don't have to worry about it then, but on days like today, you definitely gotta think about that a little bit. So I've got a 5-gallon bucket full here. Well, it's almost full. I always leave a little bit of headspace just because I come across clusters of them. I just have to get between here and the top on my way out to top the bucket off. I'm really excited about getting them home, getting them cleaned up and put away so I can have them, eat on throughout the year. This year I've already got some at the house, and this year I'm going to take what I've already got prepped at the house, and I'm going to freeze dry it and crush it up into powder and make it into a seasoning. You can sprinkle it on anything. You can put it on cheese, pizza, steak, whatever. I mean, it's just going to be delicious on anything. Your scrambled eggs, whatever you want to sprinkle it on, it's going to make it better, I can promise you. It's absolutely delicious. There is a warning here, and there's full disclosure. You eat a lot of ramps, and a lot of people will say this, you know, your significant other, if they're not eating them with you, might make you sleep on the couch for a few nights. You know, it'll do something to your breath a little bit, and a lot of people say you sweat it out and it makes you smell a little bit. So if you have any kind of social events coming up, I wouldn't eat them right before a social event or anything like that. But they are really, really good. And I just did this video because I want to introduce my viewers to it in case they're just not familiar with what they are. So You certainly want to do a little bit of a research on ramps, ramsons, and this area here in West Virginia, or if you're anywhere along the Appalachian Mountains, you know, and you know, from Tennessee all the way up to the top of West Virginia, I know they're plentiful. You might want to check in, you know, do a little research and see if you can find where they're growing. I find them at high elevations. I find them usually on the sunny side of a ridge. You know, this is the kind of the south western side of the mountain. When it gets that afternoon sun, you know, that seems to be the places. And you know, I got water drainages that are just starting off the top of the ridge right here. So it's not like a flow. It's just like just muddy seeps that runs, barely a flow, if anything. And I find them growing a lot in and around there. They like that moist soil. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching, and if you decide to do some research or get out there and get you some ramps, I promise you, you won't regret it. It'll change your life, or at least it did mine. And I certainly, I can't imagine going any amount of time without having them on the menu. Well, I got my 5-gallon bucket of ramps topped off, and I was on my way out. Remember one more thing. Promise this will be the last. You don't have to cook ramps. Ramps can be eaten raw, just like a green onion. It's actually very popular. My wife's grandparents did that. Even my dad's done that. They just chop it up like a green onion into brown beans or butter beans or whatever. And a lot of people eat it like that, so you don't even have to cook ramps. They can be very easy to prepare and to enhance your meals. Also, a lot of the old timers believe that there's a lot of health benefits to eating ramps. A lot of antioxidants. And hey, thanks for watching the video. I'm trying to come up with some new things to, you know, expose my viewers to some different things and kind of think outside of the box, some videos people might enjoy. If you have any suggestions, feel free to send me a message or a comment or something in the video of anything that you suggest that I may be able to do for you. I hope you really enjoy the channel. If so, let your friends know about it. You know, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. I also have a Facebook group, Hodgepodge Outdoors Facebook group. It's got thousands of members, and what I like to do with it is just kind of keep people posted, kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm getting ready to put out,